Hey everybody, welcome back to Race of History. Today we're doing part 2 of the Hannibal series by HistoryMarche. Let's get into it.
Although the Carthaginians are faced with serious setbacks in Iberia, in Gaul Hannibal speeds up his approach to the Alps when he befriends the Allobroges tribe by adjudicating in a dispute between two royal brothers over who should rule. The seemingly grateful new ruler of the tribe, Brancus the Elder, provides the Carthaginians with supplies, warm clothes, food, and guides. And so begins Hannibal's perilous journey through the Alps. But as the ascent begins, Brancus's friendly guides turn home. Here, Hannibal shows he is as skillful in mind games as he is in generalship. Sensing an ambush, he sends scouts ahead who report that the tribesmen are indeed mustering their forces just ahead on higher ground near their settlement, waiting to attack the passing Carthaginian column. With a select group of experienced troops, Hannibal sneaks up to a position overlooking the tribal settlement and plans his next move. As night falls, he signals his army to proceed marching. Spotting the movement, tribal sentries raise the alarm and, just as Hannibal had hoped, an attack begins on the Carthaginian column. Expecting the impending attack, Carthaginian troops below stand fast on the precipice. A swarm of tribal warriors smashes into their solid defensive line, the initial push throwing many over the cliff's edge. But the Carthaginians hold their ground, and the tribesmen soon realize that they have fallen into a trap. Hannibal rushes downhill, while Carthaginian troops from below simultaneously begin pushing uphill. Many tribesmen are cut down in a matter of minutes, their morale broken by the lightning-fast Carthaginian counterattack. With the enemy driven off, Hannibal and his men turn their attention towards the village. They storm the tribal settlement and seize all of their winter provisions. At dawn, the Carthaginian march resumes. Over the following 3 days, the marching column continues unopposed. But all that changes on the 4th day as the Carthaginians enter a narrow gorge where they are met by several tribal chiefs who offer friendship, hostages, and guides. Suspecting that the Gallic tribes from these parts are no friendlier, Hannibal accepts their offer, but takes precautions by secretly moving the vulnerable baggage train and cavalry to the front of the column, and positions his heavy infantry in the rear.
This is brilliant, because if you're going to get ambushed here, they're going to attack what they think is the weakest part of the line. Normally, that's the baggage train. That's the part of the line that not only would screw everything else if it gets hit and overtaken, but also does not really have the manpower to fight back and attack. So that's kind of a spot where if you're going to ambush somebody, that's where you would want to hit. Hannibal, seeing that an ambush is probably coming, moves the baggage to the front, moves heavy infantry to the back. Now he has heavy infantry in the spot where he's most likely to get ambushed.
As the Carthaginian march continues through the extremely narrow pass, the 200-meter vertical cliffs ominously tower over them. And they are not alone. The Gallic warriors are watching from above. Having set up an ambush further up the gorge, the tribesmen bide their time, shadowing Hannibal's army for 2 days. But suddenly, at a very narrow point in the gorge, the Carthaginian column gets blocked from the front as the tribesmen unleash their attack. Rocks and projectiles rain down from the cliffs above onto the Carthaginians below, killing many in the process. Animals panic and trample over soldiers who hopelessly look for cover. The main Gallic force appears behind the Carthaginian column and charges their rear, expecting weakest resistance there as they hope to loot and destroy their supply train. But again, Hannibal proves he is one step ahead of his opponents, as the heavy Carthaginian infantry he previously placed in the rear pushes back the Gallic charge and inflicts heavy losses on the enemy, forcing them to retreat after a brief battle. Hannibal then urges his men to push forward out of the killing zone, as the barrage of rocks from above continues. It is not until one day later that the Carthaginians finally reach safety on the other side of the gorge. The last of the Allobroges' attacks is beaten off, but the remorseless fighting against the Gallic tribes took its toll on Hannibal's army. To make matters worse, the weather soon turns as winter comes early. Hannibal's troops find themselves battling heavy snowstorms. Traversing through rocky gorges and steep mountain slopes, many are swallowed by treacherous voids lurking just under the snowfall. Men, animals, and wagons slip and slither on the ice towards precipitous ravines and treacherous chasms. Finally, 9 days into the march, the Carthaginians set up camp just below the top of the pass as they wait for stragglers to catch up. 2 days later, Hannibal rallies his troops at the top and points to the panorama of Italy below. There he vows to his men, "You will have the capital of Italy, the citadel of Rome, in the hollow of your hands." And with that, they begin descending towards the Po Valley. But the slopes on the way down are far steeper and largely covered in ice. The treacherous terrain claims the lives of many more troops and animals. Adding to the hardship, a collapsed stretch of road forces the Carthaginian column to stop for 3 days amidst freezing conditions while the road is repaired.
Yeah, there's a reason that nobody in Rome expected Hannibal to come out where he did. That reason was nobody crossed the Alps in the winter. In fact, not only did nobody do it, it was thought to be impossible. That not only did nobody do it, nobody could do it. And so all of this trouble that he's having is the reason why everybody thought, well, you know, if anybody tries to cross the Alps, it's just suicide. They'll all die there. When Hannibal pops out with an army at the bottom of the Alps, everybody in Rome goes into full freak out panic mode. They start calling armies back. They start conscripting more troops. Like, they go into full panic because not only is he in Italy now, but he's in Italy in a place that was completely unexpected, and he has just done something that they all thought previously was impossible.
But finally, after braving these horrific conditions, the Carthaginians reach the foot of the Alps. Having lost nearly half of his army, Hannibal takes stock of his troops who suffered terribly during the crossing. Of the 45,000 that set off through the Alps just 16 days ago, only 26,000 made it to the other side. There, the Roman army awaits.
Okay, so that was Hannibal Part 2 by History Marche. I'll do Part 3 later on, probably tomorrow. I'll get to my next Napoleon video tomorrow also, and I will see you guys then.